Arora Saab, just first off, let me ask you, at a time when we are facing some challenges in being able to meet our vaccine targets, this somewhat sudden news of the exit of Johnson & Johnson, what do you think exactly happened here?
So, I think we need to understand the overall context. A couple of weeks ago, we also heard that Moderna is going to come any day.
Right.
And then we realized that, and it was about 7.5 million doses coming as donation through COVAX facility, WHO COVAX facility.
Right.
That also did not materialize. The whole issue is, and I'm part of the COVAX facility in WHO as well.
Sure.
And the overall issue is that U.S. vaccine manufacturers, be it Pfizer, Moderna, or Johnson & Johnson, one of the requirements they have kept is what they called as paperwork, and it is indemnity and liability related clause which have to be fulfilled by recipient country.
Right.
And so India has been having discussions with them, which is still continuing. And we are also aware that Pfizer has been asked to submit application right from January onwards, but we have been hearing all kinds of things, but they have never submitted. And same is true that Johnson & Johnson had submitted, but they have withdrawn. And the primary, I think the issue is revolving around concerns
indemnity.
of, indemnity and liability.
I see. That's quite significant, because we've all been confused about why it's taking so long for these vaccines to arrive. And you're saying essentially they expect an indemnity clause. Just to simplify this for our viewers, Dr. Arora, this is essentially them saying that if there's any adverse effect because of our vaccines in India, we are indemnified against any liability, legal action, compensation, and so on. So am I to understand it that we are not okay with giving such indemnity, and that's why, J&J and others are pulling out now?
So, Srinivas, we have to understand the overall global context which we are talking about.
Yes.
India is the largest vaccine manufacturer in the world.
Yes.
And our capacities outsmart any and every other country globally.
Yes.
We are a major supplier of vaccines to low and middle income countries.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and third thing, we also need to look at it that in last 2-3 months since we are talking about immunizing all adult population,
Yes.
we have not taken into account many of these imported vaccines. The amount we were being offered is also not a huge amount, but everything is welcome, but still it was...
Okay, that's interesting. Let me jump in for a second, because our viewers need to understand what you're saying. Are you saying, correct me if I'm wrong, that we have factored in for our vaccine requirements, whatever we need to vaccinate our entire adult population by the end of this year, without factoring in these so-called imported vaccines like J&J and Pfizer and Moderna?
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
I see.
We have estimated whatever
Yes.
the supply line has been prepared, and what we are planning, it is based on vaccines manufactured in India.
I see. So that's because but hold on.
Became unclear from quite some time, and that is why that has not been taken into account.
And that's because of the indemnity issue, basically, largely.
That is one of the important issues. Yes.
Okay, so we don't want to. So I'm just asking you now, much more directly. So we are not comfortable with granting that indemnity because we consider ourselves to be a vaccine maker. So is that the short answer?
No, I cannot answer it in that way because I am not privy to the discussion part.
Okay.
But I do know that is one of the major hurdles in moving forward and arranging for vaccines through U.S. manufacturers.